Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And to all my brothers out here preaching this truth to you, I say, Shalom. This is a Matazar from the Chicago camp, coming back at you again with another lesson. This lesson is going to be entitled, Death from the Guard. That's death from the guard. So today in this lesson, we're going to be discussing this so-called 10-year anniversary of the killing of Trayvon Martin. All right. And its impact, the case's impact on what they call the stand your guard laws. OK, so after this case, there were about 30 plus states that enacted new stand your guard laws. All right. And so we'll talk about the percentage increase of justifiable homicide, because that's what this really is. We're also going to talk about this George Zimmerman. And when you look at this picture of George Zimmerman, all right, you know, they're labeling him a Hispanic male. He is not a Hispanic male. OK. And we're going to show that. This man, judging by his last name and looking at public information, this man is an Edomite. So he has the spirit of an Edomite. And we're going to show you that in this lesson. All right. And the spirit of the Edomite will show you the motivation. All right. Which led to this killing. Now, this killing happened to be the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, because we know that not even a sparrow will hit the ground without the Lord's approval. All right. But either way, we'll show you the motivation. All right. And then also we're going to talk about a little bit about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And we're going to talk about what's called the guard. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and begin. So let's get a little history on this Trayvon Martin. So what I did was I screenshotted this article. That way I didn't have to be online when I showed or when we read through it. All right. And get interruptions. So let's just read it briefly. It says stand your ground laws proliferate after Trayvon Martin case. 10 years ago, when Trayvon Martin was fatally shot, Florida was one of the few states with stand your ground laws that eased use of deadly force in the face of danger. Now, upwards of 30 states have some form of the law, and recent research indicates they're associated with more deaths. So this is from the Associated Press, all right, and this is dated February 27th, 2022. All right, let's keep going. St. Petersburg, Florida. It says, the Stand Your Ground self-defense law has been in effect in Florida for more than 6 years when it became part of the national vocabulary with the death of Trayvon Martin in 2012. When the 17-year-old was fatally shot, Florida was still one of the few states with the law that removes the duty to retreat before using deadly force in the face of danger. Now, upwards of 30 states have some form of the law, and recent research indicates they are associated with more deaths, as many as 700 additional firearm killings each year. It says the study found that stand your ground laws in those states could be associated with a national increase of up to 11% in homicide rates per month between 1999 and 2017. The largest increase between 16% and 33% were in southern states, including Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and Louisiana, the study found. These findings suggest that adoption of stand your ground laws across the United States was associated with increases in violent deaths that could potentially have been avoided, the study's authors concluded. Okay, so that's what this stand your ground law, all right, that's been enacted in more than 30 states, has increased what we call justifiable homicide. So basically, you have one group of people who can get their hands on firearms against another group of people. In most cases, who can't get their hands on these firearms. All right, and there you have it. All right, so let's take a look. So this is again George Zimmerman, and let's look at his background. George Michael Zimmerman was born on October 5th, 1983 in Manassas, Georgia. Manassas, Georgia. He is the third of four children, and his siblings include brother Robert Jr. and two sisters, Grace and Dawn. His mother, Gladys Christina Zimmerman, was born in Peru. So if you've watched the previous video, all right, that you are who your father is, the woman is the ground, this is the perfect example, okay? So she was Peruvian, all right? So Peru, right? Peruvians are the children of Israel, but she's just the ground, right? She married, an Edomite. It says Zimmerman's maternal grandmother was of Afro-Peruvian descent. His father, Robert Zimmerman Sr., is an American of German descent who had a military career of 22 years, first as an Army sergeant and then 10 years at the Department of Defense. Before retiring in Florida in 2002, Zimmerman Sr. had served as a magistrate in Fairfax County's 19th Judicial District. Okay, so there it is. George Zimmerman, he is who his father is. His father is an Edomite. Okay? So therefore, all right, he has the spirit of an Edomite. Now, I'll show you this. This is a painting, all right, that George Zimmerman did after his trial. This is a painting of a what kind of flag? Confederate flag. So why would a child of Israel, right, who's been subject to this form of oppression, a Confederate flag is suggesting slavery and to keep the status quo of white supremacy. So why would this Peruvian want to keep that? He's not a Peruvian. Okay, now if you can't see this spiritually, hey, go to another channel. All right, you don't understand, you can't figure this out. There's no so-called Israelite that's going to paint this. The man is a German because his father is a German. All right. Not only that, if you go and research George Zimmerman, he's been involved in multiple issues of violence. Okay, he's got multiple court cases against him where he's pulled shotguns on people and guns on people. He's got a temper issue. All right. Now, if you look at this right here, you can get this. I believe I got this right out of Wikipedia. The man tried to sell the gun that he killed Trayvon Martin. He tried to sell the gun, auction it. Let's read it. On May 11, 2016, Zimmerman posted what was planned to be the auction of the firearm he used to shoot Martin. The post, in which Zimmerman wrote that the gun was an American firearm icon. What? It attracted controversy. Zimmerman subsequently explained that the Justice Department had recently returned the weapon to him. He said that he had the right as owner to sell it. Zimmerman said the proceeds of the weapon will go to combating the violence against police officers by members of Black Lives Matter movement, as well as ensure the demise of Angela Corey's persecution career and Hillary Clinton's anti-firearm rhetoric. So you'd have to read up on both of those, but the idea here is that the man tried to sell the gun that he killed the young Israelite, all right, at auction for the highest bidder, saying that it was basically a piece of American history, in other words. Now, whose history is American history? Exactly. Edomite. All right. So, enough on that. All right. So I've just basically, I tell you what. Now let's get some scriptures now. Right. Let's get some scriptures, and then we'll come back to the judicial portion of this. All right, Ezekiel 35:5, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, said Yahweh Power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And we know that Mount Seir is where Esau, all right, Esau and them live. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and in thy hills and in thy valleys and all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. And I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. Zechariah 11:5. Verse 5. All right. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Okay. All right, so they're whose possessors? Who's our possessors? Esau, Edom. They slay us, and then they hold themselves not guilty. All right? But they are not in trouble like other men. You see how he got acquitted? He got off. All right? They're not in trouble as other men. Psalm 73, verse 3. All right. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, and violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness, and they have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt, and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Okay. All right. And now let's get into the Brazilian judicial portion of this. Okay. Because we all know the story. Okay. We all know that, George Zimmerman called the police and said that there was a strange, a young kid with a hoodie on, and he was tired of these punks getting away. So he disobeyed the order of the police that said, stand down, leave the guy alone, stop following him. And he kept following him. All right. Now, the story goes, right, that he grabs the guy. And his statement was that, he basically got in a dominant position over him and started raining down punches on him. Okay. But if you look at this article right here, and this was always part of the trial, and no one looked into it. George Zimmerman had been training in MMA in the weeks before Trayvon Martin's shooting. Okay. Now, when I first heard the story, all right, I'm recently practicing jujitsu, but I've had knowledge of it, for many, many years, all right, when they were still wearing gym shoes. Anyhow, if you know anything about jujitsu, there's a position called the full guard, all right, or the closed guard. Some people just call it guard for short. All right, where you're on the ground, you pull a person on top of you, or if they get on top of you, you lock your legs around them, right? And if you look at this picture, it's not that easy for a person to just get out of someone's guard. Once you get stuck in the guard, all right, you gotta kind of work to get out of that, right? Now, George Zimmerman had Trayvon by at least 30 pounds, okay? So if this Edomite had murder on his mind, right, a person with an untrained eye would have no idea what they're looking at. They would just see Trayvon Martin raining down punches on him, thinking that he was in a dominant position, when in fact, okay, this boy was held down, in this man's guard and couldn't get away. So the only thing he could do was try to punch him, okay? But to the untrained eye, they would never see that, because they don't know. I mean, say I'm 260. I grab a guy. He could be a full grown man at 160, or 180. I got a distinct weight advantage over that person. I can grab him close and I could pull him on top of me and lock my legs around long enough, to say, help, 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 help. He knew he had a gun on him when he did it, but this is what he wanted to do to justify shooting his boy. Now let's talk about the full guard. It says the full guard, also known as the closed guard, is one of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu's strongest positions. Full guard is basically an upside down mount position for the person on the bottom. In full guard, the individual in the bottom position wraps his or her legs around the person on top. From full guard, the bottom player can defend strikes, apply submissions, and initiate sweeps. The full guard is a great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, and self-defense position. Okay? In this article, we provide tips on developing a strong full guard and discuss a few basic techniques from this position. All right, so there you have it. Okay, so this was the position that the witnesses saw Trayvon Martin in. Okay, he was in what you would perceive to be a dominant position, and he was fighting for his life. Okay, all right. Now you've already seen. All right, the spirit. Okay, George Zimmerman is who his father was. His mother was just the ground. All right. So I hope pray that this lesson was edifying. This lesson is titled "Death from the Guard." Until the next time, Shalom.